Hello. Well, yesterday was a bit of a day. Those of you that remember Holden, the rescue racehorse that I got from, a rescue that I work with. The rescue is actually called Centre for Racehorse Retraining, and they're in Wyoming, and I sometimes foster horses for them, and I fostered Holden, who was emaciated, and I made some videos about him because it's kind of relevant on malnutrition. Anyway, he's still with me. I later adopted him, and yesterday, and he's gorgeous. He's got lots of weight on him. He's got lots of big shiny bottom. I love him. But yes, he's also really quite naughty, and he's one of those horses that all of the other horses will be off grazing, they'll be off eating food, and he's in the corner trying to fuck something up. Like, he can't just leave things alone. He's either arguing with another horse across the fence, or he's just always doing something. And yesterday he managed to find something to he almost ripped his nose off. So I go out into the field, and he's standing there looking very proud of himself with this huge flap of nose just hanging open. So I had to get the vet, and actually the vet had just been for another horse that we had gelded recently. So the vet had just left, and I went out, and I was just like, oh my God, hold on. So I called the vet back, and she sorted him out, and he's going to be fine. He might have a kind of like cute looking nose. I don't know how it's going to heal up. He might have a bit of a bump or a bit of a deformed muzzle, which I'm sure he'll look gorgeous because he always does. But anyway, so that was my day. All right, so here I've got an email from Elena. It's my French accent for you. And Elena writes, first of all, please forgive my poor English. It's not my mother tongue. Are you kidding me? I couldn't even write je ne sais pas in French. So it always cracks me up when people write in a second language and the first thing they do is apologize. I'm like, you don't need to apologize to me. I can just about say bonjour. I'm a 25-year-old French recovering from anorexia. Actually, I would like to ask you some advice in order to help my cousin. We're about the same age, and we've always been super close to each other despite the fact that she lives 2 hours away from me. I met her on Saturday after almost a year, open brackets. I was living in Japan for 4 years and came back to France in order to recover with the help of my family, close brackets. She's always been pretty tall and kind of curvy, but when I saw her, I barely recognized her because she just lost so much weight. I heard from her mother that she spends her entire weekend meal prepping for the week. She spends her entire weekend meal prepping for the week. She goes to the gym several times a week and barely sleeps because of her super busy university schedule. She's always going to organic stores to buy supplements, seeds, inverted commas, good foods, as she says. She lives with her boyfriend, and it happened several times that she refused to meet her mother because she has to go to the gym, even though she's really tired. On Saturday, I baked some cookies for everybody, and when I offered one to her straight away, she asked me if I used any egg yolk or sugar. When I said yes, she refuses to eat a cookie. But the way she answered really bugs me. She said a pretty strong no, with a slight look of fear in her eyes. When we were all sitting at the table, there was a pack of trail mix opened on the table, and I could see her eyes going back and forth to the nutritional values to the trail mix. According to her mother, she eats very well, but she's doing intermittent fasting and she's always talking about food. I'm afraid she suffers from orthorexia. I would like to ask her about it, but I'm afraid that she freaks out and doesn't want to talk to me anymore. That would literally kill me because she's almost like a twin sister for me. Do you have any advice? I would really like to help her before she hits rock bottom. Thank you in advance. Love from France, Ellen. Well, honestly, I see orthorexia and anorexia as the same things, they're just slightly different presentations. It's funny though, if you think about it, like people diagnose people with anorexia if they are underweight, but it's orthorexia if they're not underweight. But when I'm saying that, they're doing it if it's statistically underweight. So your cousin could have lost weight, but if she's not statistically underweight, she wouldn't get diagnosed with anorexia. She's more likely to get diagnosed with orthorexia, when actually that just shows weight bias, don't you think? Anyway, so anorexia, orthorexia, whatever, it's a restrictive eating disorder, isn't it? Category: fear of food, fear of weight gain. She's scared of I just think it just presents itself differently. It's still really, I feel that it's fear of weight gain hiding behind fear of eating badly. Honestly, that's what I feel about orthorexia. I think that what happens is especially if somebody's personal values aren't to be scared of, and they maybe like their curves and they're not wanting to be skinny, they can't understand the apprehension that they feel to eating more food. Whereas I think deep down, it's fear of weight gain. It's like someone like me, I was scared. Logically, I was not scared of weight gain. I didn't like being thin, but I was still scared of weight gain. And I think that what happens with orthorexia is somebody can't logically sort of fathom that fear of weight gain. So they're like, no, I'm not scared of gaining weight, which could be true. And it was true for me, but it's not a logical fear that we're dealing with when we're dealing with this migration response fear. It's a brainstem related, like illogical. You can't talk to the brainstem, it just reacts. It's a reactionary fear. And so I think when orthorexia gets diagnosed, that fear is still there, but the person's just trying to kind of make a little bit more sense of it. And it's like, well, I'm not scared of gaining weight, I probably want to gain weight, so maybe I'm just scared of the ingredients in the food or something like that. And either way, whatever, same thing. We treat it the same way, right? Nutritional rehabilitation, stop restricting food, and neural rewiring. So may as well be the same. So the question there is, you're asking how you can best help her. It's tricky, isn't it? You're probably right. At this stage, she may well freak out if you bring it up. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't. And I'm sure that she'd come round. I mean, if she really completely didn't want to talk to you anymore, tell you what, if you asked her, does she think she has an eating disorder? If you mentioned that you had noticed her being different around food than she used to be, because maybe she used to eat cookies all the time, and it's just an observation of yours that, hey, you used to eat cookies all the time and now you don't seem to want to. What's going on there? If she freaked out and didn't talk to you again because of that, she definitely has an eating disorder. So there you go. That would answer your question, wouldn't it? But even if she's, I think that if you are, it takes one to know one, and if you are suspecting that she has an eating disorder, it's highly likely that she did, and you share genetics anyway. So maybe you can talk about your own experience, and I've done this before for sure. Talk about your own experience, and in doing so, she might recognize what's going on with her. You can hope. You can't control this. You can't make her want to talk about it. You can try your best, but you can't necessarily stop her, as you say, hitting rock bottom. All you can do, I think, is support and encourage. And what's really important, I think, is to demonstrate. Be eating all the cookies yourself. Demonstrate that it's not a problem. Certainly when somebody starts, I don't know, saying that egg yolks aren't bad for you, totally speak up for egg yolks and sugar. She's like, oh, sugar's not... You speak up for those things and say, the human body needs sugar, sweetheart. So, do feel that you can defend food. And I think that that's important. Because otherwise, when we're all silent, someone's like, sugar will kill you. And everybody's silent. They take that as agreement. I'm never silent about that stuff. I'm like, give me another cookie. Because sugar is my friend. I don't know, Elena. I think it's really sweet that you're so worried about her. I think that you can just do your best to support unrestricted eating, to demonstrate unrestricted eating, to try and help her understand that there's not anything quite right. One of the things that I use often is, it's all very well to want to eat healthy. That's great, whatever. But it is not normal to actually have a strong emotional fear reaction to food. That's not normal. And so if you can help somebody understand that this is not just you wanting to eat healthy, you're having an emotional reaction to the thought of eating sugar. That's kind of fucked up. That's not normal. It's not normal to have anxiety or fear accompanying being offered food. So sometimes I think that's helpful to point out to people that you can kid yourself, this is just you wanting to be healthy. But that is not a normal reaction to being offered a cookie, to have a fear response, which I think is what you've identified, Elena, that she's having. You've identified a fear response. And that is not normal. That is something deeper. And that is what you need to try and help her understand, that her fear response to being offered that type of food, that's not okay. And that's what she needs to come to realise that there's probably something bigger going on. Anyway, hope that helps. Hello from Colorado to France.